Today we're at the breach site where one of the boats has already been pulled out. It's misty here, it's getting dark. Are we going to see another one? So today we're back at the Whitchurch Breach for a quick update on what's happening here. Now it's hopefully going to be a big day today and we're going to see Sefton and Ganymede lifted out. They are right in front of me here, as you can see, and they're currently working in that embankment up there. You can see the spider excavator up there from WM Plant Hire. That's currently digging a slope out to get to the side here, and that's not to pull the boat up, that's to get down so the spider excavator can dig around the side there. It's an amazing machine. All four legs or wheels, whatever you want to call them, reach out and can be controlled separately. So you can drop down into the canal with that excavator and move anywhere and be digging with 4 different levels completely underneath you. It's insane how it works. It's a really, really fantastic bit of kit. You can hire it from WM Plant Hire if you've got a need for it. The operator, she's only, well, this is her 3rd day now. Yesterday was only her 2nd day and she'd never driven one before, so she's had to learn all the controls and they're opposite to most things as well. So what a fantastic driver they've got there. So let's talk about narrowboat Sefton, shall we? Now Sefton is in a bad position. It's sunk on the front where it went down first and a lot kind of flowed over it. Sefton isn't a write-off despite popular comments online. That comes from Commercial Boat Services, who are the ones rescuing the boat, and also comes from the family as well. So please respect the boat owner when you're spreading stuff online. That's someone's home. It's not a write-off. These people do it for a living. This is what they do. At this stage, the boat is considered salvageable. It may need some fit out on the inside, and it may be at a later date when it's examined, something's found that does write it off. But at this stage, it's not. So let's stop these rumours, please. So Ganymede is just about to be winched up. They've got some tension now. They're going to start winching any minute. They're just waiting for the boat owner to come down. Now, what the plan is to move it, and they are fully expecting the straps to come off. But they need to remove it first. If it works and they don't come off, they carry on pulling, but it might be that they come apart and then they do a second winch after. One reason why I'm covering this stuff so extensively on this channel is because the mainstream media tend to forget about this once the major disasters happened, but it's quite good to see there's BBC, ITV, Shropshire Star, and there's local stuff as well here, so it's really good to see the press turning out in force, and this helps with trying to maintain a bit of pressure on the government for more funding, which is what's definitely needed here. It's an absolute drone fest everywhere. It's like dot to dot drones around here. That's not me. So the boat is moving apparently as well, which you can't really see on this, but I'll put the overlay footage from the other camera. So there's a lot of tension on that cable now, and the risk is that if that goes, it's quite dangerous. So we're all at quite a safe distance, and that's why you're not allowed kind of directly by it.
Hi, I'm Julie Sharman. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for the Canal and River Trust. So what we're doing here today is rescuing 2 of the boats that ended up in the breach hole. The equipment that's on the far side is some heavy-duty winching equipment, and we've created a ramp in order to pull the boats out safely as we can, and then once we've got them up on the right level on the far side, we'll be refloating and hopefully getting them away for further work, because they need a bit of work after this incident. Obviously for the Trust, we're a charity, and incidents like this are very expensive to repair. So through our winter appeal, we're asking for support so that we can do more work to look after our canals and keep them in great condition for the people who love and use their canals every day.
So on the front of Ganymede, they welded a plate on, and that's basically acting as a ski. So when they pull up that slope, it doesn't dig in, because otherwise the bow's just going to try and go down into the bank. So I think what's happening at the moment is they're clearing that. You can see a guy at the front with a shovel, and he's just digging that out, so when they're pulling, it's not going to completely bury into the bank. And it also looks like they've added another cable as well, so they probably need a bit more strength. Like I said, they only initially wanted to get it loose with that first bit, and then they were going to reevaluate the strength of the cables they needed. So they've started again, and you can see she's moving quite quickly now, so I think that was the initial pull that they were worried about. Now they're going for it. So it's still digging into the bank a little bit, but the slope's working that they dug out. Sefton in some ways is going to be a lot easier, because you're going to have a bit more of a run up, and the bank's already going to be smoothed out from saving Ganymede. You can't see it on this camera because of the mist, but Ganymede is free and on the flat now, so she's kind of dug a course up for even with that sloped embankment and then drop back down in the other side. So they're now just winching her into position so they can get ready to get the bank ready and pull Sefton up. So the problem they've got with Sefton here, like I said, they're digging out to come down, but if you look, she's the other way round, so you've got the prop on this end, so it's a better slope now to take her out, but they're going to have to be a bit careful when they're dragging because that prop is going to get caught. Now all the bars have been sort of welded in there, so it's ready to go. It's just now waiting for that bank to be ready so they can progress. It's going to be a couple of hours now till the next boat's moved.
Well, it's been a good morning, afternoon so far. We've managed to move Ganymede out of the breach hole, and it's a real delight to see that happening because there's been a huge amount of planning going into this. There's some significant team on the other side who've set up to assist us with this recovery of the two boats, and we've been planning this really since the breach just before Christmas when we moved Pacemaker in the emergency situation to secure that boat. So there's been an awful lot of work behind the scenes getting ready for today. We've also moved a lot of the dams around in order to achieve this move, and what will happen next over on the other side will be we'll pull out Sefton and bring it alongside Ganymede and then hopefully refloat the pair together, and then we'll be able to take them away on for the works that are needed to the boats. I think that the thing that's been caused the biggest interest here is this is the first time for me in 30 years working with waterways where we've had boats in this position, and this incident happened just before Christmas. 3 of the boaters were living aboard, the ones that were impacted. They had to be moved to temporary accommodation. It's a real terrible time of year for anybody to be displaced from their home, and that's been one of the most challenging things when people are winding down for holidays. We mobilised up to deal with this emergency. I'm really proud of the team and all the work that went into ensuring over Christmas things were maintained, that dams were secure, that there was no further deterioration of the embankment given the breach. But it's a terrible time of year for anybody to have to deal with a major incident.
This machine really is an incredible bit of kit. You can see she's coming down the embankment now behind Sefton, and all the legs or the arms, whatever you want to call them, are all at different places. They're all being controlled individually, and just means that digger can get in absolutely any point. You wouldn't do this with a normal excavator. There's no chance. So the kit is so important on this, and there's no point in Canal and River Trust owning this kit themselves because it just wouldn't get used enough. Like Julie said, this is the first time this has happened in her entire time in the Canal and River Trust and British Waterways. So to be able to hire this expertise in from somewhere else is absolutely game changing. So as you can see, it's turning into a very grey day. They're not 100% sure if Sefton's going to be fully pulled out tonight. They might be able to release her and then do the final pull tomorrow. But the hope is that they're going to refloat the boats in the morning, so they need her out if possible. Now there's been a lot of talk about damage to the boat and stuff. Obviously the sheet piling, which you can see all along here, was on her roof. They cut that all off yesterday. It doesn't look too bad. The solar panel's been knocked off and stuff, but it looks fairly good. Now this sheet piling is another contentious issue. So if you look at it, you can see the level of the canal bed just across here. You've got the embankment, so you've probably got a 4 to 5 foot pile there, and you can see just there how much is stuck down into the ground. Now this isn't for supporting this embankment. This is purely to prevent wash from propellers. When these canals were built 250 years ago, they didn't have propellers. They were all pulled by horses. The biggest damage you had to the canals were on the bridges from the ropes rubbing on the bridges. Now these are put in because those propellers create a wash, and as boats go past which are moving faster than they used to, they create a wash into the banks. So it's purely to stop the clay lining and the embankment washing out because of movement of boats. So when everyone says they're not driven down deep enough, they really are. Ignore that. They are absolutely fine. So you can see she's pulled the sheet piling down off the side of Sefton there and using it as like a track bed as such, because this is really soft down here. You can see at the back of the wheels down there where it's creating a track. A normal excavator just wouldn't stand a chance on here. So the other side is dug out. Those guys on the end there are kind of clearing the smaller bits. And they're just trying to dig this side out so they can pull, but it's half free now, so we're not sure if it's going to be done today or done, at least done in the lights. So visibility is really poor here, but over in the distance you can just see the floodlights on this camera. That's where they pulled the boats to. Now, they pulled the boat straight up and it's on the right hand side of the canal now. Ganymede is sat there, kind of in the way now for Sefton. So the current job is to try and pull Ganymede across to the left hand side, which means more sort of pulleys and winches and all sorts, to get her across so Sefton can have a clean pull up. So the flood lamps are trying to get down a very slippery tow path, as you can see. This is to try and light up the site because it's getting dark and they do want to pull this boat out this evening. So the chaps down here are the guys that welded all the plates on the front. So it's a bit more difficult for this boat because you've got the prop on this end. So that's Ocadic Welding Services Limited, who you'll find on Facebook. They've done a fantastic job. You saw the first boat go up without any issues. That's because of the amount of work they put into welding bars in and welding winch points and stuff like that on. So the same is going to happen now on Sefton, so please do give those guys a follow. You can see on the back of the boat there's some pipes coming out. That's where they pumped her out. They're just putting some more straps on the front to secure things a little bit more. The cables are in tension. So Sefton's got an interesting story as well. So it was made in Coventry. You can see actually on the sign on the side it says Grand Union on it. Now the boat itself, the company was, I think it was Sefton, but their name was changed over the years. And the great granddaughter, I believe it is, of the person who owned the boatyard messaged me yesterday saying, I didn't think there was any of those boats left. There's one in a museum somewhere. So this might be one of only 2 boats left that were built by that company. So she's free, she's just moved across and is now completely coming out this end as well. Look at that. How cool is this? We were a bit worried for a little while because it's been struggling to get it out. This is so cool to see in this really eerie night that's happening here. You could hear her pull out the suction on there and the bubbles coming up from where she was sat underneath. It's a lot harder because of the prop on this, but they seem to be on a much better slope than the other one, because the other one was so much closer to where they had to dig out. This has got a bit of a longer run up to get up the bank. We've just been talking about it. We're with some people with Canal and River Trust here, and everyone's so excited to see this happening because it's a new chapter now for this disaster and for people to be able to reclaim their homes. And hopefully Sefton can be saved just like the other boats are, and people can start living their lives again. So she's just dropped down now and it's level flat, so they're trying to pull her in next to Ganymede, which looks a little bit tight, but I'm sure they'll be able to winch across. They've got several pulleys up there to be able to sort of direct as they go up as well. What a fantastic response from the Canal and River Trust on this, and all their contractors, from Ocadic Welding Services that are here to WM Plant Hire, Crouchies, absolutely everybody. They've all played their part in saving these boats. Hopefully they can go off to be floated. That's going to happen probably on Saturday now with Porterdam. They're not coming tomorrow, and then they can be taken to a dry dock somewhere and examined, and hopefully they'll be salvageable. Now they probably can't run them under their own steam. They have to pull them with tugs along to take them to where they need to go, because you don't want to risk those engines running. Plus the prop on Sefton is probably completely gone. So what a fantastic result we've had today. Both boats have now pulled out the breach. Those homes are hopefully saved. Now let's go on to the next stage where we can assess these things and see what's going on with them, whether they can be salvaged. I'm pretty sure we're going to see these boats floating down the network soon, and it's going to be amazing to see. They're going to be celebrities on the network. So let's hope Sefton, Ganymede and Pacemaker are all fine, and let's have a bit of hope here. Have a great day.